Hello and welcome to DoubleConvex's introduction to high dynamic range photography. High dynamic range photographs, or HDRs, are photographs that are composed out of either a single image that has been shot at multiple f-stops and then stacked together in an image manipulation program, or a single image that has been manipulated into multiple f-stops and stacked together in image manipulation program. Now, I'm an amateur, and I had no clue as to what HDR was until 2 years ago when the term was thrown out in a discussion at the local camera store. And so I found myself going back home after my lunch break and getting onto Google and trying to discover exactly what it was. And I was pleasantly amazed to see some of the work that was out there. And I've spent the last 2 years trying to figure out how to make my images look better using this technique. And I've come across a couple of techniques that seem to work very well for me. And this is my effort to give back to the community that taught me my trade, so to speak. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm an amateur. And I really do this because I enjoy it. So, without further ado, a couple of things that I ought to disclose up front is that I will be referring to a couple of products. Now, I'm not a salesperson, but I am one of their affiliates. And yes, if you go to my website, you can find the odd discount coupon to buy the products. I make a small commission of it. It's no additional cost to you, but I make a small little amount that helps me keep my website going, and for better or worse, funds my hobby a little bit. The tools of choice, well, as every self-respecting photographer, amateur or professional, would love to have and use, or typically does use, Adobe Photoshop. Would swear by it. I really think there is no substitute in that particular product. Along with that, to generate my HDR images, I use a product from HDR Soft called Photomatics Pro. It seems to be the choice of software package out there to create HDRs. And yes, I do have a discount coupon on my website. In addition, I also use a couple of specialized plugins for Photoshop that I will share on a couple of these subsequent videos, and a noise reduction program. Yes, HDR does introduce additional noise and grain into your photographs that can make them look really bad unless you treat them properly after post-processing. So there you have it. In closing, I probably ought to mention there are two methods of creating HDRs. The first traditional method is to take multiple shots of the same image at different f-stops and then use them as components to make an HDR composite. Or the second process, which is sometimes referred to as pseudo HDR, where you manipulate the exposures of a single shot and use them to create the HDR image. Now, I use the second method, and there's a lot of debate about whether that's really with skill or mostly in the computer. Well, I'll let the results speak for themselves. But anyways, enough of that. Enjoy the tutorials and the videos.